Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We had a little bit of volatility today on the Bitcoin chart, which is good to see. We also came down, talked about that in the previous video, and it has come down sort of into that support box and so far has made a little bounce. We're going to zoom in a minute to take a look at what Bitcoin is doing there. I from time to time get questions about the long-term targets for Bitcoin, so wanted to take the opportunity to build that in again. You know, sometimes we can take a look at these things, maybe not in every video because, it would be very repetitive. But my view is, and I don't really want to, necessarily take a look at the entire chart here, but what we have here on the chart generally is a 1-2 pattern here. That was a 1-2 setup back in 17 into 19. Then we have another 1-2 setup into March 2020, and this is Bitcoin's third 1-2 setup. I did explain it in previous videos, not always, but these 1-2 setups, they are very bullish. They create the foundation for future growth. This is just the way these waves work, and if you have a 1-2 here, for example, this requires obviously its own wave 3 and 4 and 5, so it will go up higher and higher. So we have here a 1-2, here another 1-2, and this is also another 1-2. Then this last 1-2 setup will require its wave 3, 4, 5. That would only complete the wave 3 of this 1-2 setup, and so on. And then you cascade higher and higher. So I want to talk about the all-time high basically that's possible for the next, or the target for the next all-time high. And basically I have to make some assumptions that we have made the bottom now, right? Of course we can still go lower with Bitcoin, but it wouldn't make a massive difference in terms of all-time high target, so it's not too relevant. But measuring from a low at around 15.5K, the target would be in the region, didn't want to do that, would be in the region between 114,000 and 137,000 US dollars. This is sort of the likely range. If we say that this year was a wave 1, this year was a wave 2, and the next wave up would be a wave 3, then there should be a wave 4 and a wave 5, and in the wave 5 we can even reach higher levels, 160 to 174K, which is the 2.618 Fibonacci extension. Again, how long that takes, I can't answer that. It takes as long as the market needs for it, but it would be the target in the next bull run, in the next all-time high. Okay, so let's take a look at the lower level wave count. If we now look at Bitcoin zoomed out from the 4-hour chart, we can see that there are basically two main scenarios for Bitcoin. I'm going to show them here with a yellow line. So from the recent high here at around 25,200 in August, that was a wave 4 high. The expectation was obviously that we will come down and make a lower low in a wave 5. That has happened, but there are now two different scenarios how it can play out, or at least two likely ones that I'm following. So if we look at this, the red count, I'm just going to show that to you. So the red count suggests that we had a wave A, which bottomed here around 18,300. We moved up in a wave B. That was here the most recent high early in November at around 21.5K. And we've come down in a C wave, made a new low, and we could now have seen the low. In the red count, we could have seen the low. Then there is the other count, which is the green count. That just has a different structure. Also possible, wave A here, wave B there, and then the wave C down. And in the wave C, which is a larger pattern, therefore there is more downside potential. And in this wave C, we have already seen the wave 1 that was early or middle of September. We've moved up in a wave 2. That was the high here early in November. Instead of in the red count, we count it as a wave B. In the green count, we can count it as a wave 2. And then we've come down in a 3. We are now moving up in a 4 and will come down in another wave 5, maybe into the region around, in sort of 14 to 15K. So this is these are the two scenarios, but we will see much more if we go to the 1-hour chart now and zoom in, make it a bit larger. And then you can see here that in the green count, so the green count is really just here what you can see on the chart, that we've made a wave 3 low. We're currently probably still in a wave 4. Again, if that is going to be a triangle, or maybe we'll move up once more and then come down. But in this scenario, would make a new low. And the red count obviously would have bottomed already here. And then we have already seen in the last few days a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and we're now trying to put another 1-2 setup in place and would rally in the next wave up in a 3. That would be a 4 and a 5. So these are the possibilities, the key possibilities. I'm currently mainly following the red count. Within the red count, we have obviously, and this is sort of what I'm focusing on, as long as the support box is holding. Yeah, we talked about this critical support box now in many videos. It is located between 16,070 and 16,470 pretty much. And this is the support. If we lose that, it will just make it very likely that we will put a new low in place. So as long as, however, this support box is holding, we can focus on this red count and say that, yeah, you know, we've made from the low from the 9th of November 5 waves up, not the ideal proportions, and therefore this count is not highly reliable. We've moved down in a wave 2, bottomed here at around 15,800. Again, not highly reliable because the wave 2 retraced a little bit more than it would have been ideal. And we are now in the third wave in red. Okay, so that can take us sort of in the region around 20K. This is possible and likely as long as we're holding the yellow support box. In this third wave, however, we have subwaves, and we talked in previous videos about a 5-wave move up here. This is sort of off the third wave in red, the first wave, because the wave 3 has also 5 waves. Then we said in the previous video that we'll probably come down a bit lower in a wave 2, which we did today. So this could have been the bottom of wave 2 of around 16,400. We would next move up in a wave 3, come down in a 4 and move up in a 5 to fulfill that pattern to 20K. I think the view was correct that we are coming down lower here. We talked about that in the previous videos. There was a channel we broke out to the downside, retested from below, and the choppy price action to the upside here suggested it was only a B wave. So yeah, the wave C to the downside could already be in. This would be a so-called running flat now, or generally a flat pattern. It could be that this is now in this low for the wave 2. So that we had here this ABC pattern and that this low is now in. This is possible at the moment because from the low that we made here today, 16,375, we've made really very, very small 5 waves to the upside, and we're currently coming down and found some support here with this, found some support here again on this support box. So this is a possibility, but for that, the $16,400 level needs to hold to make that likely that we move up already higher. If not, we can still come down lower in wave 2, but we need to hold above the 16,070 level. So I'm still focused here on higher, as long, however, only as the yellow support box is holding. And evidence that we indeed will move up or are moving up in the third wave in yellow would be a break above this wave 1 high, which is at around 17,120. Before that, there is still downside potential, and you can see here we are still below resistance. So we're sort of in a range at the moment. But yeah, this is sort of what I find at the moment quite likely. But again, we need to hold the support box. Now, all of this could also move in a larger triangle. That's possible as well. And if this indeed is a large triangle that we're putting in place here, then this could be a wave 4 and would eventually subdivide in a 5th wave to the downside. Yeah, so the evidence for that we are breaking down here would obviously be a low below this 15,775 level. If we break below this low, which was put in on the 14th of November, it is very, very likely that we're also going to lose the low from the 9th of November, which was around 15,640. But as I said, as long as these support levels are holding, we can focus on higher, especially as on the lower time frame, you can see 5 waves up in this structure and 3 waves down. So this really this needs to hold the $16,400 level. And then we can still have a valid 1-2 here as a subwave. But this is really, we're getting into micro counting here. But just to show you the potential, really. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.